You have a dog of your own. How could you? So I'm glad the miller's finally found a normal hand for once. And he appreciates when a fella's direct and open. But I probably wouldn't tell him everything about us. And what do you think of it? And what about you? What kind of family are you from? Also, thieves? And I still owe you a nickname. I reckon I'll call you Zenek the Second then. And now I'm not surprised he was so unhappy with that bastard Vasarek. But we did bloody thorough job. And you know who else pines for the good old days? Crazel. Well, that's not very creative, but what's done is done. But it's true, you can sometimes hear some bastards on the hill above us. But as you gained experience, you rose and rose until... But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flower golems when we've barely just met. But you said weapons. How did you find out? Did we let it slip somehow? Well, now. So you're a bailiff's man and you're on our trail. But credit where credit's due. You figured out we were working on something to do with weapons. I told Zenek to clean it up. I think he wants to see if the place will get so rotten that saltpeter will bloom on the walls. But then we probably wouldn't have met, and that'd be a shame. Yeah, I suppose you're right. I reckon they're afraid of getting into a chat with Zenek and having their day ruined. Let's get you out of this hellhole quick. The poet, get out of my sight. We're going to call you Sourdough. You bet on a guess. Ha ha ha! You're as hasty as that Zenek of ours. You know what? I'll come up with a nickname for you myself when I get to know you better. God's mysterious ways. You know how it is. I understand. Best not to bite the hand that feeds you for no good reason. Poor thing. All the horrors that have happened. Sniffer, Zenek, dead. What are you supposed to say to that? Best to keep your mouth shut. What do you think? Would he like to come here to us? What happened, happened. There's no going back. What happened? What do you think of the old miller, anyway? What are you doing here? What are you doing here, Henry? Thanks for talking to me. It really is good to have someone to pour my heart out to. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, I. Men these days solve all their problems in armor on the field, gouging each other's eyes out and hacking off each other's limbs. Shit. It's all gone sour. Fuck you, Henry. Oh, fuck. In that case, we're finished. When Zenek and I were here last, I saw how old Visaric treats him. But we surely fooled you, eh? You had no idea we were making black powder. He's a pretty tough old bird. He follows the rule, I'll treat you the way you treat me. That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so I'd bring him some kind of offering. Oh, fuck. We messed that up. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself. I'd be happy to teach you something, if you want. Ah, I hope you also enjoyed killing that innocent dog. I hope you're happy with yourself. Confiscating property for the greater glory of God. I hate the term stealing. He's always dragging those carcasses, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a slab of fresh meat from Troskovitz Butcher. So the only one who ate shit mixed with dead bodies was you two. Hey, how did you know what we were actually doing? If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms. Do you have any idea? Well, I'll be... That's what I call an interesting past. I'd like to see that. I think... It came in handy in the convent, too. Slipping out of a boring sermon unnoticed, that's what I'm good at. Lots of luck. I reckon I'll just have to scrape together the ingredients for that magic ritual myself. Playing with fire. If you only knew. The cemetery is beyond Troskovitz, towards the Apollonia rocks. Likewise, brother Powderman. Good luck on your travels. I told Crazel we should use the story about the butchers and say less about the golem. Just that I was wondering that the explosions didn't bother him at all. At least he won't suffer here. That's right. But like I told you, all the sty walls in the region are scraped clean and we can't wait. What would you call him then? Whatever you say. When they caught Zenek in Troskowitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me and clap me in the stocks. You know, if a golem punches you, you won't get up again. Whether you're naive or not. What should we call you? Why the fuck didn't we think of that? Scruffy? Or Jan, Nicholas, Franz, Peter, Jakub. The most bland, everyday names. He's Andy, that's for sure. But also a bit of a fool. That's the most idiotic name for a dog I've ever heard. His name will be Monarch, and that's that. Just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistus would never have happened to me. Not me. Just testing how alert you are. You wouldn't kill a dumb creature just because its master is a sick horseman, would you? Anyhow, now all the sties in the region are scraped clean and we're sitting pretty on a nice barrel of saltpeter. But if you're in a hurry to find Crazel's saltpeter, I won't keep you. And it don't matter who's preaching, whether it's a priest, an abbot, or Crazel. Jesus, I sound like an old crone now, eh? Jesus! And are you going to do it? Of course I will. I'm Bonnie. Nice to meet you. Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter or some other shit. It feels kind of cold on the tongue. Henry. Henry! How come you're here? Henry, you can't! From some fucking disease. That's him. In any case, you impressed Crazel by figuring out what we're doing here. Anyway, you did a damn fine job. You deserve a nickname from me, like I promised. Where'd you come from? So, if by some chance it looks like something's going wrong, you won't see my heels for dust. And I suggest you do the same when you go and clean someone's sty. They don't pay much attention to you and leave their purses and chests unattended. As long as you listen to me and keep the proportions right, you won't fuck it up. Well, when you came here, you were kind of unrefined, grey, nothing much. When Crazel starts spouting off his alchemy theories, I'd rather run for the hills. Sure, I'm pretty quick to learn and patient. That is, with one exception. Calm and humble, and it'll help all of mankind. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked in a few chests, just in case. You know. Crazel built a stall so all them honest, curious people in the mill, the likes of Hensel, wouldn't have to worry their little heads about what we're doing here. Crazel? Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is rotting. It can be shit or carcasses. Better to use rushes boiled in wine. Not exactly, but I have an idea. Times are evil and there's plenty of corpses. You've got a beautiful dog. What's his name? I reckon so. There should be as much as Crazel needs for his masterwork. By the way, I never actually tasted saltpeter. I always just pretended in front of Zenek. Once he told me there's no such thing in the world as a man and a woman. Only mercury and sulfur. It might not be a bad idea to team up with them and start selling to them. Poor doggy. It has to be scraped from the walls. Horrible work, time-consuming and annoying. For the whole Trotsky region, aye. I don't have time for poaching. We made a pretty decent amount on the side. You've risen into a companion we need not be ashamed of. I heard they called our new pal here Monarch. I think I'll keep the name. What do you think? Actually, he really pisses me off with his attitude. And he entertains himself by coming up with the stupidest nicknames for me. He doesn't give him food, he abuses him. With a master like that, he won't last long. No. Did you bring me something from the mill? You're a piece of shit, Henry. A piece of shit! And couldn't you find the pit without that? Just take a look at that poor creature. Don't think I've forgiven you about that dog. He's no beast. I came here to save him. Before you came, and before Zenek fucked up with the manuscript, we collected saltpeter all over the place. Mainly in sties. That's not something. That's nothing. He's right there. Do you have some for me? For him, it'll be a redemption from that horse and master of his. I suppose. Aye, well, that's on Zenek. If that idiot hadn't lost the manuscript, you'd be none the wiser. My word, that's exactly what I need. The ingredients for the magic ritual. What a cute fella. How did you find each other? What a handsome boy. Then we can talk about whether it was worth getting our hands dirty or our tongues. You remember that sweet thing from Slatigo? My word, what a beauty. Just you wait until I have my own castle and everyone calls me ma'am. Come here, Cuddly. Did the gravedigger help you? I'll take care of him in place of my poor dead sniffer. Unfortunately, Crazel said we need at least 6 times as much. I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. Get to know you a bit. Look out! Behind you! We can't leave you here with that bastard now, can we? Imagine, that monarch of ours is half deaf. A nickname's a nickname. You can't pick it, and nobody can take it away from you. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. That's why we use nicknames. Because he attacked innocent people? That's all horseshit. The neighbors just wanted to get back at the greengrocer Vasar through the gravedigger. I'd also like to take a look at that book, Crazel. I'd like to keep him in place of my poor dead sniffer, the butcher of Vranjik. I told you there's no need to dip it in resin and wax. Ah, like I said, the Troskovitz bailiff paid for the gravedigger's services. Bailiff Thrush is an idiot. He won't know anything. Sakra! How could things have got this fucked up? Sakra! That means it's all on me. But none of them has dared to come down here. You're a much better Christian than I thought you were, the Wolf of Scarlets. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with us before. It was fun, and pretty useful experience. But it's a shame I don't have my dog Sniffer no more. It was fun with him at least. He tries to be careful, but then he opens his big mouth and fucks it all up, just like in Troskovitz. Where are the good old days when everything could be solved with a simple dagger stab or a nice strong cup of hemlock? Exactly. And the one we have here in the region is also the gravedigger. Exactly. And the one we have here in the region is also the knacker. Probably not. Well, at least me and Zenek played our roles perfectly. It wasn't so bad. Well, fuck you then, asshole. I like that dog better than you anyway. Come on now, boy. Let's go, yeah? Before someone catches us. Take care then, Sourdough. And come back and visit sometime. Good luck with that. That pit could be anywhere in the region. You must be pretty excited about old Crazel's learned ramblings then, I used to have a dog, but I don't anymore. I had to hide out here for a while, so I haven't had anyone to talk to. We're definitely not doing anything there right now, because of the mess in there. A person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't even know he's got a a saltpeter mine. That mutt the Slatigo greengrocer has. Whew! That means it's all on Crazel, and I played my role properly. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually nothing more than a mass grave. The best natural saltpeter maker. It's his beard that does that. Don't let it fool you. We tried that too, but wood shavings are better. Don't stick your nose into other people's business. I did indeed. Nobody saw me, not then, not any time since. Before I could even walk. But it wasn't an apple. It was a silver groschen from my godmother. It's not the animal's fault. This can't end well. Dunga, for instance. What kind of a bloody awful name is Dunga? Maybe someone will write a heroic ode about us one day. Who knows? I'm more worried that as soon as it comes to life, it'll slay us all with one blow. You don't have a dog. You wouldn't understand. Look at that cute little snout. That might be a bit much, but you learn fast. He started getting these lumps all over his body. Then he stopped eating and he started getting these lumps all over his body. He stopped eating. Just slept all the time. And then, to be honest, I don't care for Crazel's horseshit most of the time either. I do this job because it's fun. Unlike Zenek. You'll like it in the lair. Oh, really? Would you teach me how to make... maybe barrel hoops? It's not the name I was baptized with. I'll take him to the lair. We'll meet there. See, I told you I was better at coming up with nicknames than Zenek. You know what? I'll start. While we're on the subject of rituals, did Crazel tell you about the golem? He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go bad on the way. But now, about that saltpeter. Life in the lair isn't all fun and games. Zenek and all the other mill knuckleheads were never worth much as company. You won't find it any joking matter soon enough. I'd go back for him in a heartbeat. He does everything for his own good, doesn't give a damn about any greater cause or other people. I have no idea. You're gonna have to find that pit yourself. Seems like it, but don't worry. I'm sure it'll be a peaceful golem, just like Crazel imagines it. But if you go and see the scribe Gable, he might at least know what you're talking about when you ask about saltpeter. God damn it, Crazel's not going to like this. Zenek kept whining about it, but being a saltpeter collector, it has its benefits. Nothing else can help me now. I hope at least I can find peace of mind. The kind where Zenek finally gets some sense into his head and stops making stupid beginner's mistakes. But, so you wouldn't go nosing around, we always told you it was for something different than it actually was. And our gang has at least one new member since that poor dog had to die. Or not. Until you try another dose of niter. So he initiated us. And you didn't say anything. Well, you're in on it with us now. No, it's about much more than that. We're all in on it now. No, Zenek. First of all, I rather like them legs of his. And secondly, I think we've put him through enough suffering. This whole time, you've been collecting ingredients and clues for us. First of all, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the whole gang for all the work you've done. We could never have finished the job without you. Not even all the cows in the region could produce enough for us once we really get started with manufacturing. Indeed, it is. We can get started. Long live the beautiful new world, and you know the rest. A very big bang. But don't worry, we're all in on it now. I was supposed to become a nun, but I didn't want to give up the booze and fellas. So, it's time we started being honest with you, so you can finally learn the whole truth. God has a path prepared for each of us. And each of us here decided not to follow it. We do. Saltpeter makes up almost 3/4 of the mixture. We found 2 new partners, you and Monarch here. It's good to have someone to rely on. Things didn't always go our way, but what's done is done. And everything worked out according to plan. So today we're finally close to our great success. Well, we may have underestimated you a bit, but it was nice of you to not snitch on us. And we used up a huge amount of saltpeter and sulfur. With the help of Hermes Trismegistos and his successors, we'll finally complete the dream of all alchemists, our magnum opus. All right then, tactics, you idiot. That'd be too easy. It'd be more torture to listen to another of Crazel's lectures. He knows you now as well as we do, Miller. All of us here are truly passionate about the idea of a new world, and now it's within our grasp. And he doesn't ask any stupid questions, but sometimes he's unbearable as soon as he opens his mouth. Crazel is his own man. Once you learn to get along with him, you can't help but admire him a bit. I got by any way I could. Believe it or not, I started in a convent because he pays well and don't care how much coin I make on the side. Oh well, different people have different fates, but we all ended up here anyway, in the armpit of the world. You're another one of those that don't know if they should love him or hate him, eh?